I knew him very well as a child because when I was very young, I actually lived with them both in a studio.
As a very tiny child, we went to Wales at the last year of the war and we camped with him. I can remember him painting there, and all the children would be running around playing. I wasn't one of those children who rush around everywhere, so I got on quite well with him. I used to stand and watch.
He was a real mixture. I mean, he was completely dedicated to his art, so things tended to come secondary to that. I remember warmth, but also he could be quite irascible, and I mostly remember him as this person who was always painting.
I thought he was a very strange man. Of course, it was at the time of him being very rejected.
And also I remember quite a lot about him when he was teaching, because he used to have the students round at my mother's house, and I would kind of sit in, and people like Albach and Kossoff and Roy Oxlade and all these people who were in the exhibition, and would come to the house, and I'd be this sort of like, I'd be sitting there listening to them talking about art, you know. It was quite a magical world, you know, that they were in.
To me, had I known him as an adult, it would have been wonderful. I could have talked to him, and my mother had such a wonderful relationship with him that I would have been able to have that. But all I had was this, you know, the Uncle David, the little girl thing, you know.
I think the overall sense of him and the whole sort of milieu when I was a child was that art was important and serious and difficult, because there was always, you know, because he never had much recognition in his life, he was always fighting the establishment, and I was very much aware of that side of things. I think he expected the world to come to him and understand him, and I think he was just angry that he had to justify his existence rather than having people just kind of accept what he had to offer, which was extraordinary. If you look at this, it's extraordinary.
He was a very wise man, and my mother, you see, she said that he gave her a new vision of life.
I remember the first big exhibition, which was the Arts Council exhibition.
And I couldn't believe it when people said to me, "Oh, I know your name is in the Tate Gallery." And people brought in pamphlets, and I thought, oh my God. I mean, I knew he was well known, but among the art people.
And also, this is where I want to plug my grandmother, because she was extraordinary. She decided that he had to be recognised, and she started going round the museum galleries, and I went with her a couple of times, and she just made appointments to the curators of the galleries and said, sort of stormed in and said, "You've got to recognise David Bomberg. He's one of the best artists we've got in this country." And she was actually very persuasive, so she did actually set the ball rolling, I think.